Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, did we ever have a howling storm like crazy last night? I mean, it was like hail and wind and howling and blowing like you wouldn't believe. In fact, my neighbor over here, he had one of his big trees literally pulled up by the roots and thrown over. My wood pile got knocked down, but that was about it. That's all that really happened there. But I'll tell you, it was something else. Thunder and lightning. It was like, it would be power on, power off, power on, power off. And that's why it took a little while there to get my video out last night because, I was having to do it in spurts when the power came on and off. It was something else, I'll tell you. And you come out here this morning, and I'll tell you what, it smells like an Irish spring, like they just washed the place down. Really quite beautiful, in fact. But boy, I'll tell you, it was really, really, and the dog was absolutely nerve racked, if you can believe it. So anyway, well, guys, the article that I was reading this morning, I'll tell you what, this one's got my spider senses tingling all over. And I'm talking about this whole Prometheum deal. Well, this whole Prometheum thing is really kind of suspicious if you ask me, and I'll tell you why. Here you have all these big players in this space that have been around practically from the beginning. Coinbase, Kraken, all these various big time exchanges that have been around for a while in this space. And here these folks come in out of left field. And what happens, guys? The financial industry and regulatory authority gives them the very first custody license for a broker dealer for crypto assets. There's something off there. And then you hear this guy, this Kaplan guy, sitting before Congress, and I'm telling you, the guy sounds like Joseph Lubin Part 2. Oh, well, I think we got all the clarity that we need in this space with the current securities laws. Oh, really? When you had Gary Gensler before the Financial Services Committee, he couldn't even tell Congress which is a digital security and what wasn't. But these guys think it's all clear and dandy. There's something seriously off. And then on top of that, guys, you find out who owns this company, who's the major players. It goes all the way back to the CCP. And that is where I draw the line right there. No way, man. If I'm going to support anything, I'm going to support what's homegrown right here in the good old USA or in another freedom-loving country. I'll tell you what, this whole deal that's going down with the way in which it just feels like there's something, I don't know what, there's something off, I'll tell you, and I won't be touching it with a 10-foot pole. That is absolute fact. With this space, give me a second here to take a sip. With this space, we really should be using exchanges, what our exchanges are for, right? And that is going out there and buying and selling. I don't want to custody my assets on any exchange. I want that self-custody so that, hey, I got that, that freedom of determination that if, hey, I don't like what's going on here, well, I can go over here. And if over here kind of doesn't, kind of float my boat, then fine, I'll take it over there. But with these guys, they want this whole custody deal. And I'll tell you, what really should happen as far as I'm concerned is we really as a community need to go out there, and the way you get your voice known, guys, your dollars, they count, don't they? Let's see how many people don't sign up for this whole Prometheum deal and don't use their platform, and let's see just how they fare when a majority of people in this space kind of get the wind of what's really going down and feeling like, these guys are just playing us for absolute, blithering idiots and that kind of thing, singing this whole kind of deal. And get this, guys, they didn't even have any kind of digital assets on their platform when they got this license. That is absolutely off in every which way. And then they're sitting there before Congress, and it's almost like they're reading the SEC playbook verbatim. Something doesn't pass the smell test. I think we all know it. And this is where we got to go out, and you kind of can show them, like, your disdain in this capacity. Just don't get on their platform. That's all I would do. And that's what I am doing. I'm not signing up for that nonsense. It just sounds like it's just something is really off there. And guys, we got to just kind of put an end to the way in which we get manipulated in this space, because I'll tell you, this space is so manipulated. In my first video, the first video that I ever did, I got a clip in there, and a lot of you have probably seen this entire, interview that Glenn Beck did with Tika Tawari. And boy, I'll tell you, that was a major, major eye opener for Judy and I in this space. And realizing, because when we were entering in, look, we were savers. We weren't really big time investors and savvy in that way. But when we got into this space, I was thinking, yeah, I have as much opportunity to make profit or loss as anybody else, until you start realizing how manipulated this space is, and how how the deals that go down. I mean, this whole Bill Hinman deal, come on, I do not believe for 2 seconds that there are people in that whole circle of things that did not profit from that knowledge beforehand, which would have been insider trading in every which way. But do you think that they're facing any music for it? I mean, Vitalik Buterin literally had come out and told, in an interview, how he had the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, sell 70,000 Ethereum at the very top. Meanwhile, he knew what was going on behind the scenes. That is absolutely obscene and should be investigated bare minimum. But needless to say, guys, when you see that kind of manipulation, then you hear all this stuff with this whole Prometheum deal, I'm telling you, as far as I'm concerned, you really have to start going out there and doing your own due diligence. Do not trust the narrative in this space, because it is so manipulated. Anyhow, that interview with Glenn Beck and Tika Tawari, I have a clip of it in the very first video I ever put out on my channel in there. And it's something that you would want to watch, because I'll tell you, it is an eye-opener. There you had, Jamie Dimon saying, hey, if any of these traders of mine are caught, recommending Bitcoin, out on their hiney, they're going to go. Meanwhile, in the background, JP Morgan is loading up on Bitcoin like it's going out of style. That kind of nonsense is totally obscene. But of course, what happens? Jamie Dimon comes out and the whole market reacts, doesn't it? And stuff like that. And this is where you guys gotta, we have to get together and really know this space for ourselves and do our own research. And don't depend on these people out here for that. They are not in our corner, I can tell you right now. These guys literally make a mockery out of retail, and they use us like absolute fodder. They dump their bags on us when it's at the very top, manipulating us to stay in. And then when we could get it, like when it's dirt cheap, that's when they're fudding us out like crazy. And all these enforcement actions are happening and stuff like that to scare the dickens out of us. And it's fear either way, isn't it, guys? It's that fear of missing out. They kind of manipulate us there. And then it's the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And no good decisions are ever made based on fear, are they? That's where going out there, researching it, and building your own knowledge is what's really going to be the big deal in you making wise decisions in this space. That's at least my personal belief. Well, guys, it is Friday. And of course, that means the weekend's upon us. And the weekend is for friends and for family. And boy, I sure hope that you get to spend your weekend with your friends and family. And hey, it is Father's Day weekend. Guys, go out there, spend some time just honoring your dads. I'll tell you what, my dad's gone. He's passed now, and so is Judy's and stuff like that. But I remember the times that I had with my dad, and I'll tell you, he was an amazing father. And I just, so enjoyed the life that he provided for us. He was a hardworking person. My family, we didn't grow up in any kind of big time wealth. My dad was a truck driver, and my mom had literally worked over there at Country Style Donuts. We were blue collar as you could get, but I never grew up feeling poor, never, not once. In fact, we had an amazing, I tell my kids, I had a more adventurous childhood than what they ever had. And, I just take the time, go out and thank your dad for all that he does for the family and all that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you what, those relationships, they're worth building. They're worth cementing. There's the only things that really do last in life, as far as I'm concerned, are the relationships that we build. Because, hey, you can have it one day, you can lose it the next, but having one another is what makes the biggest difference. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, until later on today when we have a fantastic video for you, I sure hope you have a great one. And until then, guys, take care.